So we are back in the studio, and we're going to be talking, like I said, about the controversies, surrounding the recent election of the President General of the Ohanaeze Ndigbo Sociocultural Organization. And here with me in the studio is one of the contenders. In fact, he was the one whose election was first made public. Chief Omenazu Jackson. He happens to be from the Oby divide of River State and has been a member of the Ohanaeze group since for over 20 years. A member of the Imobi. Imobi is like the Senate of the organization, and also a member of the highest body of the organization, that is the General Assembly. And he has been involved over the years in the Ohanaeze politics, so to say. So he's going to be here, he's going to be discussing the controversies, what led to different persons as President General, and then the issues. We're not really going to delve too much into the issue of whether Ikweres are Igbos or not. I think that while the controversy is raging on, we are going to be gathering a lot of information, and with time, we'll talk about that. So I'm here in the studio with Chief Omenazu Jackson, and I believe he's going to do justice to the matter. Thank you, Chief. You're welcome to the program. Welcome to the podcast, the Crystal Beam podcast. This is the first edition in 2025, and basically the first edition because what we had was actually the inaugural edition last year. So you are welcome to the show, and the people are waiting to hear from you. Let us know what the issues are, what the challenges are, and the way forward. Thank you. You're welcome to the studio, Chief. Please, may we know you?
Yeah, my name is Chief Omenazu Jackson, a member of Ohanaeze Ndigbo worldwide, and the President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo worldwide.
President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo worldwide. Good. Chief, why do you think that this particular election is generating so much controversy, and people who ordinarily were not bothered about Ohanaeze and their politics and their leadership have suddenly become interested, and everyone is talking? The social media is abuzz, the mainstream media is also abuzz with these issues. You were elected first on January 6th, and then later on we also heard that Senator John Mbata had been elected. First it was the Mike Okiro, former IG of police, and then later on we heard he had pulled out because there was a court order, and then suddenly we now heard Senator John Mbata, who is also of the same ethnic group with you, the Ikweres, and precisely Oby. What do you really have to say? Why do you think this is generating so much dust?
Well, you see, at a certain period in a people's life, there is a level of awareness. One of the problems we have in this country is that the political class just feel that Nigerians are so docile from generation to generation that they are not learning. It's not that Senator John Mbata is not qualified to be President General of Ohanaeze.
Okay.
I'm eminently qualified. I've been the chairman of Elders Council in River State and Bayelsa for 15 years.
Wow.
And we've been here. Apart from myself, somebody like Chief Isaac Nwangu has been the Deputy Secretary General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo.
Where is he from?
Where is from Elele.
Okay.
Which of who have been...
That's equated to...
Yes. Which of who have been the Secretary General elected of Ohanaeze Ndigbo. That's Uchokuku.
Yeah.
Somebody like Barama from Ishopo.
Yeah.
Which is ordinarily considered as a traditional headquarters of Ikwele land.
Yeah.
I've been state president, I've been national vice president.
Oh, really?
So it's not that we have not been there, or but the truth is that currently there is suspicion. When I was elected 6th of January,
by who?
By Ohanaeze Ndigbo, we had 368 delegates from all over the Igbo speaking 37 states.
Member states.
Yes, as recognized by the Ohanaeze Constitution. There was not much controversy. People feel that, he has been there, he has been playing along with these people, So let him do his thing, you know. So, but when John Mbata came in, and we begin to see the hands of the state government in it, local government chairmen, commissioners, you know, equally of equal extraction, escorting him to the place, and then lightning in which he emerged, created this suspicion. What is there? Why would the state be involved? This will have been doing that, even though the states, in other core eastern states, their governor used to be involved. The Rivers State is a peculiar state.
Okay, because of its
multi-ethnic, you know, and again too, you know, the dynamics of Rivers State politics.
Okay.
So you now look at it that people begin to look around. If such a person comes into this race, enlightening, he becomes the president general. We have not seen him show interest. But if for a long time you have been participating in Ohanaeze activities, people have been seeing him, you know, make comments, people have seen him and so on. People have seen him attend state meetings, we have seen him host state meetings and so on. By now, people will say, he has been there with them, or that one is his business.
Okay.
But this is a man who came into the race on Tuesday. By Saturday, he became president general of such large organization with international appeal.
Was he given any waiver?
There's nothing like waiver in Ohanaeze constitution. Actually, everybody who identifies himself, who feels within his consciousness that is an Igbo person, is automatic member of Ohanaeze Ndigbo.
Okay.
But before you attain leadership position, you must pass some rudiments.
Okay.
You must pass. It's natural. In our community, it's the same. You are born into a community, you are a member. If you are joining the community meeting, there are some certain steps you have to take to join a community meeting. And before you leave the community, you start at least for knowing how to share drink in the community gathering, knowing how to share cola. It's natural, it's traditional. You know, knowing the elders, their positions in the community, how to address them and so on. You start by arranging chairs in the town hall and so on. People, you start from somewhere. You don't just come and say you are the leader of the community or you are the leader of the community. There must be something that will take you to that level. So this is what created some of this suspicion. How this our brother, who have not been identified with this group earlier than now, at least if I'm not mistaken, he should be 60-something years. And in the last 30 years, for instance, he have never done anything to identify with Ohanaeze. He have not been a member and so on. Suddenly he became the president general. That created suspicion. We are living in a politically sophisticated environment.
Yeah.
People are not dumb.
And in the area of social media.
Social media too. People are not dumb. And the people, as long as I'm concerned, is one of the most intelligent species under the sun. So you don't jang around their intelligence. They will say, so when this issue came up, people now sit back and say, what is this our brother looking for?
What is the interest?
What is his particular interest? Why he should use less than 78 hours and join this organization and become their overall leader worldwide?
Don't you think money played the role?
So you understand? And there was heavy cash exchanging hands here and there, which I know. You understand me? The Southeast governors immediately rounded him up and started pushing.
I was going to that. So how come the Southeast governors, you won the election, elected by 368 delegates or so, election conducted by an electoral council, Chief Richard Ozobo, who has been a member of the Oby Council and I think Elders Council and all that. So how come the governors didn't see any legitimacy in your election? Rather, they rallied around Senator Mbata and gave him, in fact, the president even congratulated him less than 24 hours after the election. So, you know, that's a bit confusing. So what do you think is responsible for all that?
That's what, you know, what is responsible is political correlation.
Okay.
You know that Ohanaeze, no matter how people look at it, has influence in the political dynamics of Nigeria.
Really?
Yeah, just like Afenefere, just like Arawa.
Okay.
You know, these three groups, whether anybody likes it or not, determines a lot about the political wave of this nation. Mostly when it comes to general election, mostly the presidency.
But I don't really see it. So me, I'm also Igbos and probably a bona fide member of Ohanaeze, even though I've not attended their meetings.
Yeah.
But I do not, and having been in journalism for over 25, 30 years, I'm not sure I've really seen any special role played by Ohanaeze in ensuring that the interests of the Igbos are protected in any election period. So I'm surprised to hear this.
No, see, I am an insider.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, there's no president that has emerged in this country that Ohanaeze did not play a role.
Okay.
You're either for or against.
Against, okay.
Do you understand me?
Okay.
Meetings are held dead hours in the night.
Okay.
People are communicated to. Ohanaeze has a communication channel. This is where we are going. You understand me? But though, because of the Republican nature of an average Igbo man, you cannot drive any Igbo man in a straight jacket. They are not the different views.
Okay.
You understand me? Sometimes someone will say, let's go this way. Some will say, no, we are not going this way.
Because it's also common in other...
So it's also common in other clans.
Yeah.
Mostly in African context. Nobody is an absolute king.
Yeah.
So most of these things transfer to political calculation of 2027.
Oh.
That's where you see the generation of heat is coming up.
Oh.
At the level of a former senator and so on, with the backing of the governors, those are mostly the governor of Rivers State, who, by all intents was supposed to show some level of neutrality. For you to unleash the state apparatus to a particular person, knowing what is going on in the state now, knowing the heavy political divide that is going on in the state, the heat that is going on between the past and the present, a clever governor would have stayed off.
Chief,
without...
I want to, ask you to just hold it there. I'm going to come back to this because it's getting more interesting, because we are beginning to see that it's not only money. I think political interest, 2027 is also part of the reason why we are seeing what we're seeing. Please don't go away because we'll be right back. Oh, we are back again, and it's been an interesting one with Chief Omenazu Jackson, who also emerged as the President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo. We're still going to hear from him. He says it's all about 2027, and that's why we're seeing the controversy, the dust that is being generated by the last election. I think he needs to expatiate more on that. Chief, please, can you let us know what you actually mean by the 2027 permutations? Because I'm still in doubt on the role of Ohanaeze when it comes to the general elections.
You see, when I mean 2027, permutation, why it is generating interest is people of the state have been a member of Ohanaeze. They have not generated this kind of interest.
Okay. And the other leaders?
There have been other leaders.
Prominent ones? Prominent ones.
Yeah. And then, you now look at it, that those ones, there was no issue. But based on the political situation in Rivers State today, every same person, adult, knows that there is a serious divide in the state. And knowing that, without sounding immodest, that Igbos contribute 1/3 of the electoral force in this state. And anybody that has them by his side already has an added advantage.
Okay.
And the man in question, Senator John Mbata, is the governor's man Friday.
Oh, really?
So if the situation is allowed and there is no form of caution based on the suspicion and the lightning in which he emerged in that faction, then it means that somebody has already had an advantage over others.
Okay.
So this is why you now see people begin to look down and say there is something wrong. The way and manner and the speed this man emerged in an organization he has never been identified with for the past 30 years cause for suspicion. So people now begin to probe what is it all about. And the manner in which the state government deployed the state apparatus behind him in less than 72 hours.
Are you sure of that?
I am sure, because I am aware that not less than 4 local government chairmen accompany him to Enugu.
Okay.
The commissioner for energy, for power was there, and several other aides of the government of Rivers State were there.
Oh.
So, to show some people in the state, mostly opponents, to say something is happening. Why is this sudden interest? Knowing the number of Igbos, residents, both indigenous and the residents in this state, and their political advantage. Now, opponents begin to dissect the situation and say, okay, is it these people what they are up to? Okay, let's play back on them.
So are you saying that it's not really just about the identity of the queries and all that? It's basically because of politics.
That's just the simple truth. Okay, a lot of people will share away from this reality.
Okay.
But I am not caught down because these people today have been here all this while.
Okay.
They know that Ohanaeze exists.
Okay.
The issue of identity or no identity, as long as I'm concerned, I'm a civil rights person. Every adult is entitled to identify with anybody you want to identify with.
Exactly.
The Constitution of Nigeria gives you the liberty and the leverage to associate with anybody.
Okay.
And most of these elders know that this organization exists in Rivers State.
Okay.
Most of the elders know too, there are some people who say they are Rivers people, but they are Igbos.
Okay.
Apart from the parents, you have the people from Oyibo who are pure Igbos.
Okay.
So when you are talking about Ohanaeze Ndigbo, it's not particularly of Ikwere.
Okay.
Ikwere can decide to be distinct.
Okay.
But when Igbos in a Igbo, you have not denied they are not Igbos.
Okay.
We have Igbos in Omuma, you have not denied they are not Igbos.
Okay.
We have Igbos in Ochi, you have not denied like sorry, Francis Amechi is one of the contenders. He's an Ichie man. So this thing is not particularly about
yeah.
our identity. Our identity is not in dispute.
Okay.
You understand me? An average Ikwere man will decide where he belongs.
Okay.
And the Ikwere man does not bother you. The Igbos will talk about some of our mothers, some of us have pure Igbo blood.
Okay.
You understand? Some of our mothers are Igbos. During Christmas and New Year, we travel to Igbo land to go and enjoy ourselves, drink palm wine, eating their native food with our children and come back. It's not an issue. Our neighbors.
So the Mbata thing is not about nativity.
It's about the politics of Rivers State. 2027.
So don't you think that the forces behind him were able to overrun the other power players? I heard at some point we also heard Nyesom Wike, the Minister of FCT, also had interest. We also had former Minister for Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, both who were former governors of the state, also had interest. So I don't know, can you clarify that? And of course, if you say the governor was behind Mbata or is behind Mbata, he probably is just doing exactly what the governors in the past did, like Imo State Governor, who's been very vocal about who becomes the President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo. So where does the Amechi, the Wike thing come in? You know, is it that they lost out of the power play or what? I don't understand.
You see, to be honest,
yeah,
Wike have not been too interested in Ohanaeze.
Okay.
But including Rotimi Amechi,
Okay.
he has not been too interested in Ohanaeze. But they play politics.
Yeah.
They play politics of reaching out to these ethnic groups that is resident in Rivers State,
Okay.
not Ohanaeze worldwide.
Just like the non-indigenous.
Like non-indigenous, yes, like non-indigenous, not Ohanaeze worldwide.
Okay.
But this case now is Ohanaeze worldwide. And the influence of President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo is high.
Okay.
That's the truth. I know.
Okay.
Even having been elected since 6th, I know the kind of calls I receive worldwide.
Okay.
You understand me?
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see that at that level, you are now playing politics of, Igbo 80 million souls. And somebody who has somebody like that behind him has an advantage.
Oh, he has an advantage.
That's a huge one. No pretense about it.
Don't you think that's the reason why the president quickly congratulated him?
Exactly. Exactly.
Believing that still use the structure and influence
yes.
to help maybe
for or against.
Or against. Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So Mr. President congratulating him is showing that this position is powerful.
But let me ask you a question. Don't you think that the Mbata Sim supposed alliance, to take over the structure, will also have a negative effect in case the governor wants to seek re-election? Because whether you like it or not, you have more than more than 20 ethnic groups, and then maybe 3 or 4 major in Rivers State, and the ones that align with the Igbo thing may just be an infinitesimal number.
That's not correct.
Okay.
Because if you look at the number of Igbos, have you been opportune to see where the non-indigenous gather? You understand me? If you talk about the non-indigenous in Rivers State, though I don't believe there is a citizen can be a non-indigenous in his own country, that thing makes me think otherwise. A citizen of Nigeria cannot be a non-indigenous in his own country. So these political arrangements, to my mind, sometimes questions our nationality. It questions our constitution. Yes, our constitution, and question our belief as a people of one country. You understand?
So what's the advantage you have? Because I don't think the governor of Rivers State intends to run for presidency. So why would he want to deploy resources to get his man Friday, like you said, to become the president general of Ohanaeze? What advantage would that?
The advantage he has is the number of Igbos in the state.
Okay.
You understand? Because if, to be frank and candid, anybody who holds Igbos in Rivers State has gained not less than 40% advantage. Now, what is left is 60, and you can poach on other groups. And then when you get 20 from other groups, you won the election.
Don't you think that this also will pitch him against the Ijos, the Ibanese, the Obas, and the rest of them who do not believe in the Igbo thing?
No, you see, those people do not even care. What is important is the result. Do you understand me? Those, as long as they are beneficiary of the system, they don't care. So when you now think about some of these things, you mention Wike. Wike is this Igbo thing. This Ohanaeze thing is not too particular about it, just like Rotimi Amaechi. But nobody will convince me that we can hate Igbos. Because during his governorship, he appointed the Igbo man as a commissioner.
Okay.
That is impose a high level of confidence. If something that has not happened in any Igbo state. Rotimi Amaechi did the same. So nobody will accuse these two people of not having.
It was only Odili who didn't do
yes.
Yeah.
Nobody will accuse Rotimi Amaechi and the chief Nyeso Wike of not, showing love or concern about the welfare of people in the state. That is be an erroneous impression. For you to admit somebody who is not a Rivers indigenous into a state executive council of a state like Rivers State, which means you love those people. You should have was the person who laid that foundation, and Wike followed, and even Fuwa followed now. So the Rivers State government has already shown way of integration.
And
acceptance. But what the people is trying to agitate now is that let one person take the advantage. Because Wike did not spend money during Ohanaeze election when he was governor. He did not support anybody to go and capture any position.
Not even
Uchopuku. I remember it was after Uchopuku finished the election and came back.
That they received him.
Then the president general then visited Rivers State. He said to pay courtesy call to the governor. And the governor said, you are our brother. I know you are our brother. Now you have please take me and go and buy some clothes for yourself or people. It was a mere gift. It wasn't to support. The election was all over. Even after 2 months after the election was there, or 1 month before that incident took place. But sponsoring a candidate in a lightning 48 hours. And which of you don't know which of you have been in Ohanaeze? Because will not claim ignorant about it. Amaechi will not claim ignorant about it. Everybody knows he has been here. So when he went and come back, it's natural in the Kwere person to say, my brother, Eyala, welcome. That wasn't a state sponsor. Do you understand? But in this case now that the current governor deploy resources and state apparatus to a singular person, has a reason for others to raise eyebrow, including myself. Because we all have stakeholders. Do you understand? So if others get angry and begin to probe, they have a right because politics is a game of interest.
Okay, Chief. Just hold it there, we'll be back again. You have heard from Chief Omenazu Jackson. He has been able to also clarify the issues and let us know who is behind what, who is sponsoring who, and the interest. The interest, he says, is political. We're still going to have a few more questions before we round up. Don't go away. Thank you. So we're right back on your favorite Crystal Beam podcast. And like we have in the studio, Chief Omenazu Jackson, yeah, the President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo, maybe you could say factional, I don't know. Yeah, but he's mentioned the 2027 political equation as the major factor that is responsible, the trigger for the controversy we are seeing today. It's not like we've not been having controversies in the past when elections are held, but this one has become something that is unprecedented. Everybody is getting involved, in the conversation. So now he says it's 2027. I need him to expound more on that because I still do not see the role of Ohanaeze in determining who wins the presidential election. Maybe at the state level, it's possible they could make some impact, but again, I am still in doubt because me too, I am Igbo, so I know what I'm saying. I'm not sure that my decisions, my alliances have been based on the decisions of Ohanaeze or the directives of Ohanaeze Ndigbo. So, Chief, I need you to explain that. Why is it that this rivers issue is generating so much? Delta had produced Chief Rafu sometime as President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo. And we had people, the Shekiris, we had the Robos and the rest of them from Delta State. We didn't see them fight. The Igbo speaking part of Delta, those who believe in their Igbos or their ancestry is Igbo, they supported him and he finished his tenure. So I don't know why this one is generating so much. Please, can you let us know what actually is the real thing there? There's something that nobody is telling us.
You see, the dynamics of Rivers politics is different from that of Delta State.
Okay.
Right now, let us not deceive ourselves. There are two major contenders, two camps in the politics of Rivers State.
Okay.
One led by the governor, one led by Chief Ezemomo Wike. It is there. You understand? Okay. Every adult in this state knows that. And now, Wike has been heavily entrenched in the politics of Rivers State. As long as I'm concerned,
and then the national politics.
And national politics. As long as I'm concerned, the current governor is a neophyte in the politics of the state.
State or national?
National, and even state.
Really?
Of course, we know. I've been a politician in this state for 30-something years. We know who the gladiators are.
Okay.
You understand me? It's a green one. And when you come to the game, the masters are there.
But you can also have an underdog coming from behind too.
Yeah, but the underdog rose through the wing, you understand me, of somebody who has been there.
Okay.
You understand? And he's still there.
Okay.
You see, there's one thing I want to say here. Politics without morality is amplified rascality. The current governor of the state should know that there's limit to how he played the politics. That's what generating the cost.
But it's not politics of power. Yes. He wants power.
He wants power. But that power should be played with some level of decorum.
Oh no, politicians don't play decorum.
That is the reason why we are where we are today in this country. That's why I say politics without morality is amplified rascality. Do you understand? You know where we are today, but we don't apply morality in most of the things we do. The Ohanaeze issue wouldn't have generated this heat if the state has maintained some level of neutrality.
Okay.
It generates a lot of suspicion.
Ohanaeze is not a political party.
And Ohanaeze is not a political, it's a social cultural organization.
Yeah.
It generates a level of, suspicion when, in a lightning, somebody who has not identified with Ohanaeze just suddenly becomes the president general. You understand me? At a position of taking a decision from 80 million people.
Chief, how does it affect the 2027
election? The issue of 2027 election is that if, for instance, in Rivers State, you get Ohanaeze seal and you think you have won, it's not possible. That's the major calculation they are having there.
Oh, really?
It is a wrong impression because I am, for instance, I'm the president general for Ohanaeze now. Does not mean that anything you tell an average Igbo man is what you will do.
Okay.
There are those who have been entrenched. That's why I gave that earlier example. Do you want to tell me that the people The former commissioner in the state who that was appointed by Amechi, we just forget him like that. Or the one that was appointed by Wike, who is equally an Igbo man, we just forget him and turn his back on him like that. It's not possible. So this idea of let's push and have advantage over their opponent is neither here or there. The UK, I know, has its own supporters among the Igbos in the state. And those people, you cannot change them. You can only advise them. And Amechi has its own supporters in the state. That hard ones in that matter. You can't change them. So if you think that you bring John Ombata and spend special resources to make him a president general for Ohanaeze, it doesn't take anything. So that's the most reason why I say people should calm down. 2027 is coming. The entire Southeast supported P2B. It didn't translate to electoral victory. You understand me?
Yeah, Nyawodo was also president.
Yeah, when Nyawodo was president general,
Yeah.
he supported Atiku Abubakar.
There was a declaration by Ohanaeze.
Which I was there and I said internally.
Yeah.
I was there in the meeting.
Okay.
You understand me? Even when Jonathan was going for the election with Buhari.
Yes.
Ohanaeze endorsed him in Enugu.
Yes.
In Owerri.
Okay.
I was there.
Yet he lost.
You understand? So when Buhari contested Tinubu came now.
Yeah.
The entire Southeast and Ohanaeze
Supported P2B.
It didn't translate electoral victory.
So there's really no mix.
There's nothing so much. It's just that the people felt that the government of Rivers State, considering the dynamics of Rivers politics, should have maintained some level of neutrality. The level in which they dive into the system and take their man and make things cause for concern.
Okay.
I was the President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo from all implications. I was elected in Enugu by a good number of 300 something delegates. So when somebody is looking at one person as President General of Ohanaeze, you are getting it wrong. And equally, as a President General of Ohanaeze, I have my own supporters. And it's not compulsory that my supporters must vote for any candidate of their choice.
So it's basic. I think that the Ohanaeze social cultural organization should go back to their basic tenets and go back to their original mission and vision, which is actually to look at the political emancipation of the Igbos, their welfare, their economy, and all that, and not really the politics. Because we saw the 5 governors of the Southeast present at that election. And I was beginning to wonder whether there's an advantage, they are going to have if somebody comes from Rivers as President General. Because whatever that benefits that will accrue in Rivers State will not transfer and then translate to other states. So that's why I said it's probably because of the the presidential election. Maybe that's why. And we have clarified it by even reminding us that when Nyawodo was President General, there was this support for Atiku. Atiku was running with, I think, P2B also. And at the end of it, they didn't win the election, even with the support of Ohanaeze. When Jonathan also ran, they supported Jonathan, and Jonathan lost to Buhari, So it's not about the Ohanaeze and who they endorse. And then again, you also mentioned that when P2B ran with Tinubu and Atiku, yes, the 5 Southeast states voted P2B, but that was not enough to translate to electoral victory. But again, I want to remind you that the last election in Rivers State, there's still that controversy that P2B won in Rivers, but when the final results came, it was obvious that it was Tinubu who had the day, and that also was an added advantage to Tinubu's electoral victory, because he needed also the numbers, and then he was able to get that from Rivers in such a way, and maybe that's why those who canvassed for a southern president led by Nyeso Wike also somehow he found himself in the government of Tinubu, an opposition party member serving at that level. Now, I want to say something. What has the organization really done to help the political emancipation and acceptance of the Igbos in the Committee of States? People say it's going to be difficult for an Igbo man to be president. The closest time we had it was when we thought that Peter Obi would win, because Peter Obi even won in Lagos and beyond the southeast or the Igbo speaking states anyway. But now I don't know whether that's let me say luck or grace or whatever will still be available. So now what has the organization? I think that instead of meddling into political parties and political permutations, the group, the organization should rather go back to it and find a way to get the people united. And I think that part of the reason why we saw this drift to the governors deciding who becomes is because of funds. Maybe the organization does not have the funds. But the truth of the matter is that if every Igbo man, for instance, we say 80 million Igbos are members of Ohanaeze by virtue of their birth or virtue of their association, and people are tasked, let's say 40 million are asked to pay 100 naira every month as membership dues. The 40 million times 100 naira, you know how much it is? We're talking about 4 billion. And 4 billion, I don't know any state governor who will have that kind of funds to release, and 4 billion in a year, you're talking about 48 billion naira, So Ohanaeze ordinarily ought to be richer than even these governors that they are rushing to. So why is this so? Don't go away. Chief is going to handle this question when we come back. Thank you. Oh, okay, good. We're back again. Thank you. Chief, Ohanaeze Ndigbo, as a sociocultural organization in the southern part of Nigeria, I expected to have played a major role during the last general elections on who becomes the next president of Nigeria. We didn't, or maybe it's an oversight, I can't remember. There was no categorical statement from the group on why power should and must shift to the south. Rather, we saw Nyesom Wike, the former governor of Rivers State, and his about 4 other governors and some others, they were vocal about it and insisted, contrary to even their party's decision to field a northern candidate, they went against the party, insisting that it is the tone of the south, and as fate had it, we succeeded anyway. But I was wondering why we didn't see Ohanaeze at the forefront of that, demand. It was not enough to just say, okay, we are supporting P2B. I think that the first statement should have been that it is going to be the turn of the South. And then if it is the turn of the South, we'll probably be sitting down with all the zones in the South, to decide who our best shot will be. So what happened?
I see, that is a very serious political miscalculation on the side of Ohanaeze leadership as at that time.
Okay.
That's one reason why Ohanaeze is a dynamic leader. He has the capability and capacity to dissect the political equation in this country and take an informed decision.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say socio-political, as a political scientist, life is politics. And if you don't play it right, your people will suffer. So I believe, honestly, that Nyesom Wike and group, as at that time, was in the right cause.
Okay.
Because there will no sane politician who knows his political bearing that would have allowed the North to finish another 8 years and then take up another 8 years again. It's not possible. It's just like people from the southern part of Nigeria escorted the North to Nigeria. It's not possible. So as at that time, they had my support.
Okay.
Now, Ohanaeze leadership as at that time would have been behind them, irrespective of political affiliation, for equity. Because in any society where there's no equity, then that society is heading to the rocks.
Okay.
What brings mutual respect is balanced relationship. So Nyesom Wike and group was on course to say, bring this thing back to the south. Just like you said, when we come to southern Nigeria, we cannot say, okay, who are the major contenders? P2B, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Oh yeah, you are who? You are in this party, you are in this party. Okay, both of you, go to the field. Then what Ohanaeze will do and the Federal will do is to launch him into the north.
Oh, good.
To go and tell them, say, look, ask your sons to step down. Ask your son, let Nigeria be in peace. You will have this thing for 8 years. Allow us here to have it. Who means among the certain contenders should preside over Nigeria. So Ohanaeze and the Federal will have launched him into the north and go and pacify them. Yes, we are one nation. Yeah. But we cannot be one nation where there is inequity in our political relationship. We cannot be one nation when one side is calling the shot, another side is sitting down watching. And unfortunately, the side we want them to sit down and watch are those who are producing the resources of the country. Let's stop pretending about these things. Economic power translates to political power.
That's right.
You understand? So if we want to, if not because we really genuinely want a nation of equity, I don't see any reason why we should really share it equal. I like being straight. It should be 12 to 4.
Yeah, but every region and every zone has something to bring to the table. I remember the days of the groundnut pyramid and the cocoa, the cottons, and all that coming from the north. And even now, presently, I also know that they have resources domiciled in almost every zone and every job. But unfortunately, some of them are not being harnessed. Some of them are not generating anything to the national economy because they are either being stolen, like what we see in the Zamfara gold, this and other resources. So, but however you want to share it or however you want to, I think you have also made a valid point that people, we should have had was like what we had in 1999, where we had Obasanjo and Olufale, and every other ethnic group has to stand.
You understand?
You know, so I think that's a valid point.
So, and that is where Nyesom and group stand on equity.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Now, back to the question again. 2027.
Yeah.
The question is it right for a northern candidate to contest? The answer is no.
No. That's a good one.
Because you had your 8 uninterrupted years. The South should have their 8 uninterrupted years. Whoever that challenges anybody according to a political party, it's nobody's business. But for anybody to contend in his heart and say that by 2027 that a northern candidate will come out,
and maybe a southerner will not be
a southerner will not be, those professional running mates from the southerner should go and sit down. There's no house citizen. You understand?
Yeah.
And when it goes to the north, I'm equally advising the southern politicians to step down and let there be equity in this country.
And even the southern politicians, is it likely that if anyone emerges, he's going to do a single term? To just give maybe President Tinubu 4 years and the person takes 4 years? Is it like
that? You are going to disrupt the system.
Exactly.
And then the argument now will be watering. You understand? So the truth is, the political parties in the South, or who are going to produce candidates, they should be able to produce candidates that will provide the necessary strength, if you want to say.
Necessary strength.
Yes.
Yeah.
The necessary strength. That's what we are looking at. Because definitely, the way it is in Nigeria, a northern candidate will emerge from any of the parties. And that will disrupt the political calculation in the country. We have agreed it's between the north and the south. Let us gentlemanly maintain that status quo.
Okay.
Let the north have their way when it is their turn.
Okay.
And let the south have their way. But for you to say that now that the south will just do only 4 years and the power goes back to the north, that is unacceptable.
Or maybe another southerner comes in and that's also,
and then will destroy the system in future. Because the person that comes in now will be thinking about 8 years. And that will bring serious acrimony between the north and the south.
Chief, from what you're saying, your presidency of the Ohanaeze Social Cultural Organization, Ohanaeze Ndigbo, it's obvious that you would prefer a Tinubu to complete a second term in office, irrespective of the way the economy is, and then maybe after that it goes back to the north. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you see, that's the position.
Okay.
Under my stewardship as Ohanaeze president, we have seen the indicators on ground. One thing I must say here with all honesty is that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not the generator of the problem of Nigeria currently. Our people has a proverb that when you cut a big tree, the stem doesn't dry once. It takes a long time.
Okay.
The only issue I have with him is that he would have raised red flag as a party leader.
Okay.
When Buhari was mismanaging the economy.
But I think he tried to, but
hold on. As a party leader,
okay,
I've been in politics. I know what it is.
Okay.
There's a certain silence you keep in politics that will indict you in future. So it is always good for you to say your mind when the time comes, so that the people will know at that time that this man said this is what it is. Just like what I'm doing on Ohanaeze today. I may be an enemy to me, but I say take Ohanaeze back to the people. If tomorrow something has said, he said it. Even if they don't accept me, let them accept my word. If Tinubu was a major stakeholder in APC, a leader of APC, if I were him, when the country economy was mismanaged by the party, he would have raised the red flag irrespective of the consequence. Now Nigeria will not be saying Tinubu. You understand how many months have you been there? How many years have you been there? But the economy of this country has been grossly damaged and mismanaged before its arrival to the presidency. Let's tell ourselves the truth. You understand?
There's no better place to, leave it. That particular question, I think you've also done justice to it. There's a quote, I want to quote my elder brother, Omenazu Ndukwe. He says, if men of high repute will not rise up to the occasion may very well turn to an uprising. So I know that very many people also have things to say concerning, like you mentioned, Tinubu should have raised the red flag. But you see, this is an economy, a state, in the Nigerian state, where people are easily blackmailed, threatened, and because they oppose the system. So except you have what it takes to also maybe stem those kind of threats, and all that. This is a situation where you can even use the state powers, the EFCC and the rest of them, to go after you, particularly if you've been in a public office holder before. So some persons, instead of them to run against the state, they choose to keep quiet. I'm not saying that that is the case, but I think that even as leader of the party, the constitution of APC, the moment a president emerges, he becomes the leader of the party.
No, yes, because that is a complete. I will come to that. We'll come to that next
edition. But I'm going to do a final one.